A friend of mine from Louisiana asked me if I heard about all those shootings in New Orleans and in the area around Louisiana since Mardi Gras, since February. Now we're in March. And I said, no, I didn't hear about all those shootings, and there's been several of them. Why Louisiana all of a sudden is having disproportionate amounts of crime happen? We're going to talk about that today in our podcast, Safe Secure 360 podcast. There's safety in numbers.
Lieutenant Robert Henry is an honorably retired law enforcement commander from Houston with over 35 years of public service experience. I'm Daniel Ziegler. I've been asking questions all my life, and on this show, I do my best to ask the questions that the public would like to know the answer to. The Safe Secure 360 podcast is intended to provide you, the listener, with information about current events and ongoing societal challenges to help make your life safer. Thank you for listening. This is the Safe Secure 360 podcast. There is safety in numbers. Robert, thanks for sitting down with us today. Our story today, the thing that we're focusing on is 6 shootings happened from February 28th to March 5th. That's in a week. And yet you had to know somebody that saw this on the local news to even hear about it. This isn't even, these stories, these 6 shootings combined didn't really even make national news. What's going on?
The media and social media decide what you see and what is important to them and what needs to be important to you in their opinion. A few more dead people, we're not talking about 25 dead people. We're talking about 6, 2, 4. There's a lot of other media going on that's competitive. So really talking about these couple of people or these 12 people that got shot, it really isn't that interesting in their marketing concept that they have and their algorithms about what draws and retains viewers to them. But it just seems like New Orleans and the surrounding Louisiana areas, it just keeps getting worse and worse. And I think that the Mardi Gras influence of it brings a lot of people there to that town from out of town. And the number one agenda is to have a good time. And the number one agenda to supplement that is let's have a few drinks. Let's have more, perhaps, to drink than we normally would have. And because, hey, we're here to party, it's New Orleans, that's what you do. But then comes with that are some risks. And I think that's what we're seeing. We're seeing people shot. We had the terrible situation on New Year's morning where people were ran over and killed. So I think that New Orleans is really in the spotlight in the whole surrounding area of that, and it's unfortunate that it's occurring. Safe Secure 360. We are a security consulting group located in the Woodlands, Texas. We assist our multiple clients by reducing the risk, loss, and reputation impact. We also do full security assessments on their facilities, large churches, large private schools in Texas, and we want to help you. Take a look at our website, safesecure360.com.
Let's talk about on March 2nd, there were 5 people shot following the crew of Pepe. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but there was a Mardi Gras parade, a family-oriented one that people were just on the streets lined up as a parade float rolls by. And 5 people were shot by an 18-year-old that the police say this was a gang-related incident, which didn't even relate to all the people on the street, but here they are just getting shot because they're standing there. This is a big deal, and this is a young kid. To me, this is so shocking that 5 people at a parade were shot by an 18-year-old. That seems really like a shocking amount of news. And again, it's a small story. But how can we help? What can we learn from this, that there's a parade route and there's a young man shooting almost unrelated to the parade route, just happens that it was there? What can we learn from that or gather from that?
We did a podcast recently about being safe when you're in crowded areas, or if you're at an entertainment event or a concert or something, steps you can take to enhance your situational awareness about what's around you and what's the plan if we get lost and things like that. So I think that that the timing of these events is in the eye of the beholder. So if you're going to do some type of crime event, you decide. And typically there's not a buildup to it. All of a sudden you're at a peaceful event. The next thing you know, someone's shooting. So I don't think most of the time they're shooting at you, but they're shooting at someone else that they know. Most people that shoot people or kill them know them. That's very important to remember. Most people that kill other people know them. And something has went wrong or something has happened traumatically that you decide that that's a good idea to use deadly force against someone in a revenge model perhaps, or some type of payback. So it's terrible. And remember, the shooting you're describing is in Franklintown, Louisiana. Where is Franklintown, Louisiana? I have no idea. It doesn't sound like a very big place. So numbers and geography and city population numbers really don't matter. It seems like we have these larger shootings in large cities, but they can certainly happen in small towns as well.
So the other thing that hits me while you're describing this is probably the speed from which it was a normal parade to gunshots is so fast that it's just people are shocked and don't know what to do. And so you were talking about having a loose family plan of some kind. If something happens, we're going to meet back again here. Is it worth talking to your family and friends about, or just, I guess, being aware of this, that situations can change so quickly that if something happens where it's really uncomfortable, let's talk about this now? Is that a good idea to talk about beforehand before you go out to a big crowded event?
Yes, set the stage, okay? So let's say you're at the Mardi Gras event or any event, and you're outside and there's 5,000 people there with you, people everywhere. There's music, it's loud, people are having fun, people are screaming, laughing. It's a fun event, it's very loud. Could be daytime, could be nighttime, both. All of a sudden, you notice that someone near you, you didn't hear the shot, but someone's been shot because you see them fall to the ground, or you see blood, or you see something that is very unusual. You don't know where it came from. You don't know who did it. You have no idea. So really, you're in denial. You just can't believe that's happening. Then you start looking at it more, or you start seeing people around it that are reacting to it. Now you begin to go through your mind as to that may be real and that may have happened. Where did it come from? And then you may see people running or screaming or diving or ducking or falling. Now there begins to be a reaction to that event that you were trying to figure out, was it real or not? And then you go through the phase of fight, flight, or freeze. Flight, you're going to run away. Fight, you're going to stay there and hold your ground and try to address or that threat. And then freeze is a third one. No one really talks about that, but it's just standing there so shocked by what you see and seeing that you're just physically unable to move. And you just become part of the tapestry of what scene, like in a movie, is playing out in front of you. So it's a remarkable thing to see when you have a large crowd scenario like that. But communication with your family before you go there is time well spent.
It definitely is. And if you could cut down some denial time by being prepared for the reality of what the world is, you still want to go have a fun time with your family. It's important. That's why you went to this parade in the first place. But if you could cut down on some of that denial time by preparing for it and delivering a response when it's time, that seems like a helpful thing to do. A few days later, 2 days later, in Mamou, LA, 2 were shot dead, and then 12 people shot total over a 2-day-long shooting spree. A 19-year-old black male. It ended up fleeing to Montgomery County, where we are. This is how we saw this whole thing anyway. You became aware of a report of a young man getting arrested from a New Orleans shooting, and I had to really dig to find all of this information. But really what happened is this guy was going around shooting people for 2 days, and it's, again, just still a small incident in this, but it affected so many people. 12 were shot and 2 people died from this. What can we learn from this, or what is this is a guy that spent a long time, at large, 2 days, and then fled and was arrested 4 days later. What can we learn from this story?
Yeah, Mamou, Louisiana. Where is that? No idea. But this 19-year-old shooter decided, hey, that's where I'm going to start my shooting spree. And like you said, shot 12 people and 2 of them died. So then he decides, hey, it's a real good idea. Let's leave there and let's come to our neighborhood in the Conroe area, Woodlands area, Montgomery County, Texas. So that's what happened. And then our very effective and brave law enforcement officers tracked this guy down, found him, and arrested him. So I think that, again, it's not a matter of how big the city is. Certainly we have large-scale crimes in large-scale cities. Chicago, probably a best example. They purport it to be the safest city in the country with the toughest gun laws about legitimate gun ownership. It's just impossible almost to get a gun permit there. But if you do, you're lucky. But the gun violence in Chicago is just off the scale. Every weekend, just look at it. 20 people, 30 people shot, 2 or 3, 4, 5 of them killed. That's just a normal weekend in Chicago. So I think that that it's a tough challenge that we're having with these, and a lot of them are criminals shooting criminals. So that sometimes results in collateral damage where someone who wasn't intended to be shot was. So I think that guns aren't doing this. That's the tool or the instrument that they use, but it could be a knife, could be a car, could be a bomb, could be a lot of different ways to hurt somebody. But unfortunately, it seems like the Louisiana epidemic of shooting people just continues to occur.
I don't want to believe, this is the denial talking. I don't want to believe that wherever I go, there's a possibility that me or my family could be hurt. I don't want to believe that. And so there's a certain amount of denial I live in because of that. But you have an interesting thing because you served as a police officer for a long time. And so you saw things that I haven't seen in my life. And to you, there's no denial about this subject at all, that people are dying. And what I'm hearing you say is these are small towns where this is just, this isn't the big city of Chicago. This is a small town outside of New Orleans that this is happening at. So how can I, as the head of my family, how can I break through my denial without locking myself in my house and never leaving again? What's a way I can maintain balance of understanding that the world isn't as nice as it was when I was a kid, when my parents had me in their house, but there's still a good world that I can go have fun in and have a good time with my family? How can I personally find some balance in that and feel more empowered to live in the world?
There are certainly adult and child conversations that you can have about crime and about risk. And certainly, I think balance and reasonableness are 2 words that are very important. I don't encourage you to fixate on this or to think about it all the time, but I do want you to recognize and realize that the potential of being a crime victim exists. It exists in our town. It exists all over the world. Turn the news on tonight at 5 o'clock and you'll get a snapshot of what happened today in our town. Typically, every story leads with 3 are dead, 2 people are dead, 1 person's dead. That's the story that starts the news off, right? Every time. It's unfortunate, But what happened in these cases, they're all different. Unless there was some mass casualty event that shares common characteristics, a lot of other factors contributed to it. Was it a motor vehicle accident, or was it a fire, or was it an explosion, or were they victims of someone's personal crime, a shooting, a stabbing? So I think that it's important to know, lock your doors at home, lock your doors in your car, take your things out, put a throw blanket over things in your car to kind of secret or hide them. Those are important things to do. Be aware, look around, take that extra moment and listen to your intuition and feelings about that just doesn't feel right, or that guy or that lady doesn't look right. Let's just delay a moment before we make a move, or before we continue what our plan was going to be. I think those are good general things you can do to heighten your awareness and heighten your adversity to risk. But every situation's different. There could be hundreds of them. But I think that being able to have a plan and talk about it just generally is a real good way to start.
So what I hear you saying is that fixating on this is going to drive someone crazy. You didn't say that, but I'm saying that. But don't fixate on this too much. Find balance, and then start talking openly about the people, depending on who they are. Your kids you would talk to different than your partner about this, or your friends about this. And that all sounds like a great idea, that whenever you go out, you have some kind of plan and preparation, and you're prepared for the best and the worst of what could happen, just knowing that that's what you're walking into. I think it's interesting too that you've reminded us that most people that are committing these acts are people that know each other. On March 4th, the same day as the beginning of the shooting spree, there was a man shot in his car on I-10 East, in New Orleans East. And that was related to, there was a fist fight in a gas station caught on tape, and the police came, and it was a reported thing. It seems like that person then chased this person down, and there was just a car stalled on the highway that police found a dead person in it. So these are things that are happening that are sort of attracted to certain areas, but not always. And it's not always about big crowds of people, and it's sometimes personal. What can we learn about these, now that we've talked about all this, you talked about preparation and situational awareness and trusting your intuition. I think those are great ideas. Are there any other ideas that can help us feel safe, or any ideas that maybe law enforcement could tell us, or that we could tell each other as a society?
I think a real good training opportunity for this is turning on the 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock news. And you're going to see several incidents that are detailed about what happened to someone. Take that episode that you see and dissect from it the parts that you could have done different to avoid that situation. That's a real good way of doing it. So, road rage, we've done an episode on road rage, what it is, how to identify it, how can you survive it, how can you avoid it, is another very common way to get into a personal violence situation. As I said earlier, people shoot people and people kill people that they know. There are certainly exceptions, mass shootings or depersonalized encounters, certainly a robbery attempt, those are all exceptions. But the primal desire of revenge, or the primal desire of harming someone that you know, is very strong. So I think that it's very important to think about different scenarios and different possibilities that may present risk that is higher than what you would normally experience, and then take some small steps to avert it.
I really like that idea. You could develop a good way, you could practice strategic thinking by breaking down what happened on the news and putting yourself in that situation. That's a way to break your denial, like we were talking about earlier. That's a really good idea. Well, as always, we say every week there's safety in numbers. So talk to your friends about these types of things before you go out. Help your friends and family come up with a good plan that makes sense for you. And then just like Robert said, follow your intuition and pay attention to what's going on around you. We hope that everybody is safe as they have fun, and we want people to go out and have fun. That's part of what makes this life so good. This has been the Safe Secure 360 podcast. This is Robert Henry. I'm Daniel Ziegler, and thanks for watching. There's safety in numbers. The information provided in our podcasts is for general information uses only and is not intended as legal advice. The views and opinions expressed by the guests are their own. Always consult with a qualified professional before making safety and security decisions. For more information about this topic, check out our website at safesecure360.com.